Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we're back with another episode of Attack on Titan, episode 20. Only two more episodes to go, not counting this one, but the season is almost over. Hoping we get some answers before the season actually ends. We got some hints at the end of the last episode. It wasn't action heavy, it was mostly dialogue. Well, a lot of flashbacks, montage to the basement. The basement that we've been waiting on for years. But eventually they got there. They spent a good part of at least 15 minutes getting to the basement. A bit of scare when the key didn't actually work. Honestly, I was thinking this was going to be a bait, and the key is actually for something that's somewhere else and not there, and I'd have lost my mind. But they eventually found it. Found some journals that Grisha had been keeping, and a photograph. And some people have said to me that I thought it was Grisha in the photo, but some persons have said that it's actually Zeke. But it sounds as though Grisha is the one that's narrating the scene that we got afterwards. So I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I'm hoping we get some answers here. We saw a little boy and his sister in this world that seems to be, not modern, but at least technologically more advanced than the world that we've come to know so far inside the walls, right? And again, I theorized before that I think it's more of a Maze Runner scenario where the world is good and fine and these persons were selected for specific reasons. I don't know whether they're criminals, whatever the case might be, and they were exiled from the rest of civilization, and that's why they're within the walls. That was my theory. I'm not quite sure how that will play out here, but I'm eager to learn more. So I'm not going to spend too much recapping since we didn't get a whole lot last episode, and I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about after this episode ends. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so we're back in this strange new world. Automobiles, cars riding around. It's relatively modern. Have to have permits to walk around, it seems.
どうなるか分かっているな。はい。労働か、制裁か。制裁。分も僕に制裁をください。分かった。
Just like that. Okay.
もう一発だ。
Being outside, I guess.
腕章を外さなかったことは賢い。たとえガキでも腕章を外したエルディア人は楽園送りだから。
エルディアズ。Enjoy the view.
妹は翌日川で発見された。
Shit. You killed her?
行くのが悪い。お前の息子は一族の立場をよく理解していないようだが、お前らの先祖が犯した過ちはしっかり教育しているんだろうな。
忙しかったわけがない。母は悲しみに暮れ、父は
ご指導いただきありがとうございます。我が具足には教育しない。我々の祖先ユミル・フリッツは大地の悪魔と契約し巨人の力を手に入れる。ユミルは死後も9つの巨人には暗黒の時代だ。ユミルの民は他の民族を下等人種と決めつけ弾圧を始めた。土地や財産を奪い、かつての大国マーレは増長を極めたエルディアに内部工作を挑み、さらには9つの巨人のうち7つを手駒に従え80そこへ逃げ込んだ。我々の祖先は見捨てられこの大陸に取り残されたが、寛大なマーレは我々を殺さずに
する姿は犬さながらであった。
男は嘘をついてた。何か都合の悪いことがあるから。我々の祖先は大罪人だ。優勢思想に走り民族浄化を。俺もフェイもそんなことしてない。街を歩いただけだ。
they earned his parents?
いいかグリシャ。我々が直接の加害者でなくても関係ないことだ。我々にできること。
間違っているのはどちらだろうか。私かこの世界か。世界は理不尽で狂っている。私が己の道を見つけたのは18の時。なんで
あなたの妹はマーレ当局の男に殺された。我々には
マーレ政府の内通者ではならない。マーレ政府の内通者はフクロウと呼ばれ、姿を見せることなく復権派を道を作り、峠には橋を架けた。人々を豊かにし、この大陸を発展させたんだ。
俺たちが教わった歴史は全てマーレに。
そんなことすぐにわかるだろう。なぜなら俺は始祖ユミルを信じている。俺たちは選ばれし神の子、ユミルの民。
ライナ・フリッツと申します。王家の血を引く者です。
私は運命に導かれるままに、その身を巨人の情報を復権派にもたらした。それはまさしく勝利への活路だった。間違いない。王が壁の中に。
大陸内の力の均衡を保つという役目を放棄し、辺境の島に都を移したのです。私たちのこの惨めな
ギアの民のために大陸に踏みとどまった真の王家に始祖の巨人をお納めするのだ。王子諸君よ、マーレを打倒。翌年、私たちは結婚し、男子を授かった。名はジーク。愛は移り、人は変わる。世の中が急速に発展してゆく頃、エルディア復権派は転機を迎え、継承する器としてマーレの戦士を募ったのだ。フクロウからの情報によると、マーレ政府が動き出した理由、壁の王が80年前に言い残した言葉がある。今後我々に干渉するなら、壁に潜む幾千万の巨人が地上の我々と同じ壁内に侵入し、始祖の巨人を奪還することである。
どうする？このまま
我々の息子ジークをマーレの戦士にするのだ。いいかジーク、マーレ。
あなたが晴らすのよ。分かった。
しかし私は知っていたはずだ。親を選んだ。愚かな良心をマーレ政府に差し出すことと引き換えに。ここが楽園。
そうだ、エルディア人反逆者の。
答えろ、フクロウは誰だ。
もうやめてくれ。全て話した。もう何も。
それは残念だ。
あんたと会ったことがある。
Same guy from the blimp.
子供の頃に。
覚えていたか。
あの日のことを忘れくらいす。
So they turn them into Titans and then leave them there?
なんでジークが俺たちを密告するんだ。お前の息子だろ。
すまない。
なんでこんなやつに。エルディアのお前だ。
下にまっすぐ走れ。運が良かったら壁までたどり着けるぞ。
グロス総長。
ん？さあ、今回は数が多いぞ。どんどんやっていこう。
But why turn them into Titans though? I'm not getting that.
クルーがうるさくてかなわんぞ。
こいつにはまだ尋問したいことがある。先に進めてくれ。
お、次は
あなた。
なぜここに。俺は洗いざらい全部話したぞ。彼女は王家。黙れ。
どんな姿になっても
I wonder if she's a smiling Titan. That would be really screwed up.
そりゃいい。巨人同士でよろしくやってる。
That's actually right.
夢でも見たの、エレン。
Oh, Mikasa, you look like shit.
そうだよな。
今さ、私はって言った。
け長い夢を見ていた気がするんだけど。いや、夢じゃねえ。記憶だ。
The blood could actually call them. It kind of screwed up that it was the smiling Titan that ended up killing his.
お前だろう。15年前、8歳の妹を犬に食わせたのはお前だろ。ここからは総長の趣味の時間だ、新入り。
It's hobby.
あまり触れてやるな。来る。お前は巨人にしないでやる。3、4メートルくらいの巨人に調整するから、こいつと戦ってくれ。
And they can choose what.
そりゃ面白いからだろ。どうかしてると思うか。でも人は残酷なのが見たいんだよ。死ぬのは今日かもしれんと感じて生きる。それが生き物の正常な思考なのだよ。俺はその日を受け入れる心構えがある。食わせたのも教育だ。
心は痛まないのか。
まあ言いたいこと、エルディア人でさえなければな。見ろ、あれがお前らの正体なんだぜ。巨人のせは全人類の願いなんだよ。
なんだと。
心が痛むわけないだろう。人殺しはそっちだろ。お前ら復権派は。そうだ、妹が呼んでるぞ。
Oh shit. Eaten. Yeah. You were asking for that. Accidents happen. Oh.
覚えておけよグリシャ。巨人の力はこうやって使う。
Alright, so there we have it, episode 20, and a whole lot of, I'm not quite sure what the hell just happened. I was quite a lot of, throughout a lot of the episode, because I was trying to kind of digest all the information that was being thrown at us. And you guys can, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but as I'm understanding it, Ymir is their great descendant who made some contract with some demon or devil or whatever the case might be to receive the power to transform into a titan. And there seem to be two factions, two races at war. The Marleys and Ymir's descendants. Ymir's descendants seems to be the bloodline with the ability to transform into titans is what I'm getting. And the Marleys were, normal humans, who, I don't know, I'm not quite sure, well, how the Marleys, because they seem to be telling their descendants, and they seem to be teaching two different versions of history, right? The Marleys are instructing and teaching the children that Ymir's descendants were basically terrorizing humanity, and eventually the Marleys had an uprising and resisted, and they forced them back to this isolated island, and that's where Ymir's descendants have remained until then. And those descendants who remain on Eldia, the continent, they're there at the mercy of the Marleys because they allow them to be there. And that's why when he left the wall with his little sister, that was against the rules, and that was just messed up though. That was just messed up. I can understand. All right, gave the kid a beating, and the moment I saw him go off with the little girl, I was like, yeah, we're probably not gonna see her again. And I just didn't imagine it would be that bad. Had his kids nonetheless used dogs to kill this little girl. That was horrific. And so the Marleys have they look down upon Ymir's descendants, which is ironic since apparently they have power that they don't. But it's kind of a contrast between mutants and humans. It's something that we see in Medium all the time, really, right? So they look down on them, but at the same time they feel threatened by them. And from the other version of history, the history being told, as Grisha discovers, is that, or he touches on it a bit that Ymir actually used the Titan's abilities to for progress and to help humanity to evolve and build roads and everything like that, to help people. Not they weren't the monsters that the Marleys made them out to be. But there was no explanation as to why the king actually, I mean, one of the owls, or the descendant of the royal family, she said that he refused, the king at the time refused to fight, and he retreated to the small island and built the walls. And supposedly, at least according to the Marleys, the walls contain millions of titans that should they choose to attack them there, they will release them. And which I don't see millions of titans being in that wall. I mean, I know the wall is pretty huge, but I don't think millions of titans are pretty huge themselves. So I don't see millions being in there. And but according to the Marleys, that's why the king has not attacked. Ymir's descendants don't seem to be sure why he retreated to the island and chose to separate himself from the rest of humanity. So there's still a lot of questions, things that we just don't know. I still find it weird that Zeke is Grisha's son. He betrayed him and ratted him out to Grisha's parents and got them locked up and interrogated and tortured. But they don't seem to be the same. I don't know. They seem to be the same age. At least no. I mean, I know it's been some time since Grisha has passed away, but Zeke, as he is now, doesn't look that. That there doesn't seem to be a huge gap between his age and Grisha's when we last saw him. I know a number of years has passed since Grisha died, but they still seem to be too close in age, right? And Eren seems to be much younger than he is. So it's weird, but I guess that makes Zeke and Eren brothers. I'm not quite sure who the owls are just yet. They seem to be, giving them information for this rebellion to keep alive, to stay alive. But I'm not sure what the end game is. Is it to go back to the mainland and get the king's power? But why? I mean, if they have them isolated on that island, they have no need to go there. I can understand Grisha because he's been suppressed his whole life and he wants to change that, and that's why he wanted Zeke to change that, but Zeke betrayed him. So Eren was his second chance at accomplishing that. I'm curious. I mean, where we left off there, Grisha was on the wall, how he got over it, how he became a Titan, because he was never injected. How he became a Titan. I mean, if I remember correctly, that might not even be relevant. But I'm not sure how he made it all the way to the wall. From that point, from point A to point B. I mean, we know that they found him just outside Wal Maria, but I'm not quite sure how he got there. There's still a few blank pages that I need them to fill in, right? How Grisha got from point A to point B, how he ended up eating. Because even if he did become a Titan, he would be a mindless Titan. So, I know eventually he ate a member of the royal family, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just not quite sure how he would have gotten to that point from where he is now. He's alone, stranded, about to die. But again, there's still a few more episodes left this season. I do hope they clear up some of the questions that I have about this episode. But in terms of the world itself, I'm not too far off in terms of what my theories were before about this civilization that was discarded and isolated from everyone else. I envisioned a more modern society than that I'm seeing now. And this is, I mean, years have passed. I don't think that much time has passed. But in my theory, I envisioned a much more modern society than the one here. But on Eldia, it seems to be more along the industrial age, right? So they're still, it's not modern time. But I like that turn in the story. It's what I predicted. Although not as advanced, but it's what I predicted, and I don't know. It's interesting. It still raises, as I said, it still raises a lot of questions. We still don't know what Zeke's motivation is, because he obviously was not on board with Grisha's plans. So I don't know. Maybe he went there to stop Grisha from getting the king's power. I'm just not quite sure how Grisha has managed to get that far, right? So that seems to be their mission, and I'm assuming that Reiner and Bertholdt are also from Eldia as well, and they were taught that these guys are the enemy, right? So when they arrived there and they found comrades and friends, and realized that, okay, maybe everything that we've been taught is a complete and utter lie, and these are good people, and this history seems to stem from thousands and thousands of years ago, where no one even knows why one hates the other, and why they're doing what they're doing, which is a common theme in our world today. Hey, it happens. Different religious groups, it happens. So I'm guessing that is Zeke's mission, to stop Grisha. Well, Grisha is dead now, so I guess it's now to stop Eren. But he said to Eren in their last encounter that Grisha lied to you, I will save you. So it's clear that he still very much believes. While Reiner and Bertholdt have questioned the orders that they were given, that Zeke is still very much believes the teachings that he received on Eldia. And that everyone here, they're lower than we are. There's no redemption for them, and he's going up against Erwin and Erwin's men. He's usually talking about how their history, there's no saving them from what their ancestors have done and things like that. But is he just regurgitating what he was told, or I don't know, yeah. Because other than being descendants of Ymir, I don't see what else they're guilty of. And maybe this is just one of those extreme situations where, okay, you're different from us. If given the opportunity, you could be a threat to us. So you're forever the enemy, and we will snuff you out, and that's the end of it, right? So that seems to be Zeke's mission, to prevent them from getting the coordinate, getting the king's ability, Ymir's ability to control other titans. I still have a question about where the Titan fluid is coming from, right? So what came first? Is it the Titan fluid or the Titans? The chicken or the egg? Right? They said Ymir made a deal with the devil or something like that, but they're using Titan fluid to change these persons into Titans. So is that they have the ability to turn into Titans, but they have to be injected first, in which case they're not really a threat. Right? They're not really a threat. So, yeah. So I have some questions where the Titan fluid, where it came from. Why is this bloodline a threat? All they needed to do was really, I don't know. I just feel as though if you're on this continent, these people basically believe the teachings that you tell them, right? Because they're disconnected from Ymir's bloodline. If you had these people as they conform and they're a normal part of the society in Eldia, they would know no differently, and they wouldn't know that they come from this bloodline of Ymir's or anything like that. They just be normal persons walking around. it's by oppressing them that you end up with an uprising, and then people start asking questions, and then they want to kill you and take over. But all right, yeah, I don't want to go on and on. I think, as you can figure out, I have a lot of questions that this episode didn't particularly answer. It gave me a lot of information, but raised several more. It's not so much that, I mean, it's a familiar story. Not too familiar, but I've, whether it's through movies or television, anime, manga, whatever the case might be, you'd have seen some similarities in stories told before, right? So I'm enjoying that twist, the turn of events. This certainly opens up the world a lot more than where we were 2 episodes ago. A lot more things are, a lot more possibilities are open to us now. In a way, we know who's on each side. We know the Marleys now, who seem to be, I don't know if I call him the enemy of the people. That one guard that had the little girl killed, he's obviously garbage. But the other citizens that are there are unassuming, and they don't know anything, and they just believe what the government has told them. Similar to what happens in the walls as well. So there aren't any real bad guys on either side. It's just the government can be dangerous. Also, the walls themselves. Again, these are questions for later on. I mean, I'm assuming they hinted that Ymir built the walls with the Titans in it. I guess the number one question is why he retreated, and why they keep choosing to actually stay there, because each person, as they've said, each person that actually consumes, each royal family member that actually consumes someone with a coordinate, they instead of trying to break the chain, they choose to continue the cycle. So the question is, why exactly does Ymir himself or herself want to stay isolated there within the walls, and not interact with the rest of humanity? Right. So that's the question of the day, right? And not a question I believe we'll get any answers to anytime soon. Right. All right, that's it, guys. Be sure to post on the comments. Let me know what your theories are. I'm sure there are some things that I've maybe left out or overlooked. We had a lot of information thrown at me throughout the episode, so I might have overlooked some things. So be sure to comment below. Let me know especially if you have any answers to some of the questions that I asked. I definitely appreciate that. All right, so be sure to hit like or subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next one.